Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Part 9 of War for Cybertron / Fall of Cybertron characters in TFP. Now let's get started. We see the bots splitting off into their own teams. Team A, RC, Bumblebee, and Sideswipe plus Jack and Miko arrive in New York City. Sideswipe marvels at the place and comments how it feels like home here. They head to the underground tunnels, but during that, the kids get separated and run to Vogel. Meanwhile, the bots keep moving until they come across the cons. Con Team A consists of Barricade, Frenzy, some Viacons, and a few Insecticons. They are mining from the relic, but before the bots can attack, they are attacked by that one Insecticon, and so face off against the other cons as well. Bumblebee faces Barricade, allowing RC to fight off the Viacons and take him down, and then she tries to grab the relic canister, but Sideswipe is struggling with the Insecticons, so B throws Barricade into them. Frenzy sneak attacks RC, and he manages to get the canister, then he makes a run for it. Bumblebee and Sideswipe get the Insecticons, however, to step on the third rail, killing them, and then killing the other ones. Barricade grabs Frenzy and tries to make a run for it, but they would get hit by Vogel's train, knocking Frenzy into the wall. RC goes to Frenzy and grabs the phase shifter from him. Bumblebee and Sideswipe stop the train, saving the humans. Barricade calls for a retreat, with Frenzy managing to get back to him as they retreat. The bots call in for a ground bridge and leave satisfied with the mission. Meanwhile, Starstream is looking at the relics that have been decoded and looks to see their coordinates. The others ask how they're going to be able to get this. After all, they are pretty low on the numbers. So, Starstream decides that instead of them all separating out, they're all gonna go and focus on one relic. So, he chooses to go for the one located in the Arctic, as most likely most of the bots and cons won't be there, given the harsh temperatures. So they arrive, dry and fly around, but it isn't long until they run into the cons, Team B, Megatron, Slipstream, some Viacons, and Insecticons. Slipstream shoots down Starstream, but before Megatron can order the death of Starstream's group, the bots Team B arrives. Optimus, Grimlock, Jazz, and Perceptor. Optimus and Megatron fight, Jazz and Slipstream fight, Perceptor fights the Viacons, and Grimlock tears through the Insecticons. Starstream's group managed to sneak away, and they see that the relic is gone from the site, but that humans have been here. So they do try to get there, but during this, the cons are taken down, with Megatron and Slipstream being buried in the snow. The bots turn to Starstream's crew, who prepare to fight, with Optimus trying to say that they can settle this and that no more death has to happen. But Starstream calls him a fool, with Grimlock agreeing with Starstream that this talk is pointless. So he charges at Starstream, with Starstream getting some flashbacks to Fall of Cybertron as Grimlock knocks him out. The others try to attack Grimlock, but he throws Viacons and punches at them. The other bots jump in to take down Starstream's crew. Knockout uses the force field generator to push the bots back, but Perceptor throws a grenade over the wall of it, which blows up behind Knockout, getting the force field generator out of his hands, to which Jazz grabs it and uses it to knock Drag Strip, Breakdown, and Dead End back. Grimlock has his hands on Starstream, but before he can kill him, Optimus stops him, saying he is more valuable as a prisoner, especially with how much information he has on him. Grimlock protests this, but the other two bots agree, so they do put all of Starstream's team in cuffs, and Grimlock watches them as they head to the human base. Once there, Fowler calls off the people there, so they leave, and they are allowed to enter. But Megatron and Slipstream arrive, with Megatron and Slipstream facing off against the bots. But the bots have to also keep an eye on the prisoners. But Starstream's too find an opening, so enter the warehouse, and together they break the Apex armor out of the ice, with Starstream putting it on, and he uses it to break him and his group out of the cuffs. The bots and cons teams see this, with Megatron going in for a stab, but he gets backhanded by Starstream. Grimlock charges, but even with all of his might, he can't dent it. Starstream says, "What's wrong, Grimlock? Can't do this himself. Maybe you should have worked for me all that time ago." So Starstream grabs Grimlock, and he slams him hard enough into the ice he breaks through and sinks to the bottom, creating a massive hole. Optimus says that they need to team up to take Starstream down, with Megatron refusing at first, as he and Slipstream transform and fly around Starscream, opening fire on him, but it does nothing. Breakdown, Knockout, Deadend, and Dragonship face off with Jazz and Perceptor. Megs does land and tries to get another stab at Starscream through the window glass on his face, but his blade breaks by a swipe from Starscream's fist, and Starscream then backhands Megatron hard enough to crack his face spikes. Optimus catches Megs, with Slipstream saying it would be best to team up, with Megatron finally agreeing. Jazz and Perceptor manage to hold their own with the rest of Starscream's team, with them ultimately winning as they are using the Force Field Generator and Knockout's own prod on them. So the 4 members of Starscream's crew are temporarily taken down. The 2 would join the other 3, and they all work together to take down Starscream. Starscream, however, midway manages to grab Optimus and starts beating him to a pulp, with Perceptor charging and trying to use the prod, but Starscream grabs him in the midair, and he taunts him before ripping Perceptor apart, crushing his head, killing him. Jazz screams, "No!" as he uses the Force Field Generator to push Starscream back, which allows Slipstream to shoot her missile at him. Megatron charges, keeping him from using his feet to stabilize himself from falling. Optimus gets up and uses whatever strength he has left to help push Starscream, causing him to fall down the exact same hole he threw Grimlock through. Starscream lands, but he doesn't even get a second as he is slammed from the back by Grimlock. Grimlock then transforms into Dinobot mode and grabs Starscream by the mouth, and like Predaking in Season 3, swings him around violently and eventually throws him deeper into the abyss of the sea. Grimlock would call a ground bridge and return to base. Megatron, Slipstream, Jazz, and Optimus look to the hole and hear of what happened, then turn to Starscream's troops, who actually push past them and jump right down the hole, transforming, and they start driving away. Megatron turns to Prime. He does order for Slipstream to attack, but he would fall to his knees, with him badly damaged, as it's revealed he has a gut stab from Starscream's blows, with Slipstream helping him up. Optimus looks to Slipstream, but she says that the fight here is over, and that no more death has to happen, but next time they are enemies. She calls for a ground bridge and for Soundwave to help, so they leave. Jazz is a little disappointed as he would have loved to have pushed Megs under the ice as well, but Optimus says that Slipstream is right, that there has already been enough death today. The 2 look to Perceptor's corpse as Optimus picks him up, and they call for a ground bridge and leave. Meanwhile, Bot Team C, which consists of Ratchet, Wheeljack, Springer, Jetfire, and some other troopers, head out, with Ratchet, Wheeljack, and the other troopers in the jackhammer, while Springer and Jetfire fly out alongside it outside. They would begin heading to the site, but would take fire from the cons, Team C, Soundwave, Laserbeak, Dreadwing, Viacons, and some Insecticons. And also, Laserbeak acts as a jetpack of sorts for Soundwave, which is allowing him to fly with them. Jetfire and Springer provide aerial support by shooting a bunch of the Viacons and Insecticons down, but Soundwave and Dreadwing hold their own. Eventually, the jackhammer would get shot down by them, but unlike a cannon, it would crash a bit closer to the relic, so they're not too far away when they land. Wheeljack, Ratchet, and the other troopers exit the jackhammer, while Jetfire and Springer lie next to them, and they hold the line. Dreadwing, Soundwave, the Viacons, and Insecticons land, and Dreadwing tells Soundwave to go get the relic, while they hold off the Autobots. Ratchet's about to tell Jetfire to go after the relic as well, but Wheeljack says he'll go, as Jetfire could give them more help here. So Wheeljack goes after Soundwave. Jetfire and Springer go against Dreadwing, however, he's able to hold his own against them, while Ratchet and the other troopers deal with the rest of the cons. Soundwave arrives at the relic location, but he sees Wheeljack coming, so he sends Laserbeak to deal with him. Wheeljack dodges Laserbeak's shots and tries to shoot him down. Springer and Jetfire match with Dreadwing, but he would eventually put a bomb on Springer, blowing up, damaging him badly. Jetfire faces Dreadwing alone, with them trading blows. Meanwhile, Wheeljack manages to shoot down Laserbeak, shooting him right through the spark, killing him. And then he goes up to Soundwave, with the 2 having a similar fight as in canon, but Soundwave is more furious, given Laserbeak's death. Dreadwing manages to get a gut stab on Jetfire, bringing him onto his back. Dreadwing says that he was a worthy warrior, and he wishes him a good rest in the Well of All Sparks. Soundwave manages to defeat Wheeljack the exact same way, but when Wheeljack looks to the battlefield, he sees something horrible as Dreadwing plunges his sword through Jetfire's spark, killing him, with Wheeljack saying weakly, "No." Soundwave aims the Resonance Blaster at his head, and just as he is about to kill Wheeljack, he gets an emergency message from Slipstream, who calls for Megatron to get medical attention. So Soundwave, knowing Megatron is more important, orders for him, Dreadwing, and the last Insecticons to leave. Dreadwing walks past Wheeljack and says, "The next time they meet, only one will walk away." Wheeljack goes unconscious, but he wakes up sometime later to Ratchet giving him medical attention, as well as Springer, who survived. Ratchet calls for a ground bridge. Wheeljack gets up and looks to Springer and Jetfire, and tells Ratchet to make sure Springer is healed, as he walks to the jackhammer to begin repairing it. Ratchet just says he promises, and him and last two Autotroopers leave, with the damaged Springer and Jetfire's corpse. Finally, Bot Team D, Bulkhead, the aerial bots, and Autotroopers arrive to the last relic. The Cons Team D, Hardshell, Skywarp, and the Insecticons arrive, with them following the bots' trail. Soon, the Cons run into the bots, with Hardshell facing off against Bulkhead, while Skywarp and the Insecticons deal with the aerial bots and Autotroopers. Hardshell proclaims during his time on Cybertron before coming to Earth, he killed several wreckers, which Bulkhead says no more will die today, as Bulkhead and Hardshell fight to go is pretty much the exact same. Skywarp uses his cloak to get cheap shots on the aerial bots, but they would take him down, with Slingshot luckily getting a shot onto Skywarp's cloaking device, disabling it, which allows them to beat him down pretty easily. The other troopers would die from the Insecticons, but Skywarp orders a fallback, so the Cons leave. The bots would find the relic and see it is toxan, but would decide to throw it in the volcano, with that going much easier, so they manage to destroy it, and they call for a ground bridge home. Hardshell wakes up and vows to kill Bulkhead next time they meet, as he meets up with the other Insecticons and Skywarp, and leaves. And that is where I'm going to leave things for this part. I hope you enjoyed it. Part 10 is going to be good. So yeah, be ready for that. See you next time.